Hey guys, morning. How you doing? Welcome to the Academic Answers podcast, where we discuss the topic of success, happiness, full potential, creating something with your God-given gift, and using that thing to serve the world and to serve yourself and to take you to the best life, happy life, a fulfilled life that has eluded most people, even if you admire and you envy the life, for want of a better word, of most people who you see are successful, of the 3% or the 5% of the population that is financially free, successful. Then there is still only maybe 5% of those people are fulfilled. A lot of people have gotten extremely wealthy, but they are unhealthy. They have poor relationships. A lot of people have gotten extremely wealthy, but they are miserable because they are doing it in a way that doesn't fulfill them, and it is opposite to who they are. And that is not the life you want to live, because everybody wants to have money because everybody thinks that money solves all the problems. But as soon as you get it and those problems disappear, then you will realize that you have to live with yourself, and then other things, other more deeper things that resonate with the spirit start to come up, and it will be challenging and it can be depressing. We see so many millionaires who have committed suicide, who are strung out on drugs, because pretty soon the money thing plays out so quickly, and then you have to deal with yourself, as I just mentioned. So we believe that you have to balance the whole thing. As you try to achieve something, you have to set it and start from the right foundation. Otherwise, you'll get up to the top and realize that the whole thing is shaky. Your life, your business, your outlook is not built on a solid foundation, and you crumble in one area of your life or the other. So that's what we talk about on this podcast. Anyway, this morning we're answering the question, because Academic Answers is an answer podcast. If you're coming here for the first time, we answer the questions that we get from our blog. We've been on blogging for about 5 years, 6 years, at Facebook, on our website, on other social media platforms, YouTube, all over. So we share content, and people respond to it. People reach out, trying to get more clarity, trying to help, trying to get us to help us to help them, to give them some form of perspective on anything that they're going through. So we answer those questions, and we do them at scale. We do them through a podcast so more people can benefit from it, because we know that as human beings, we all experience the same type of problems. No matter where we're from or where in the world we live, we have the same issues. And when I do it this way, more people can benefit from it, can get value. So this question is very, very, very important question, and it is: how do I avoid and get rid of the distractions? Because I have done 2-3 years with goals that I've set for myself, and I'm not hitting those goals, and I've realized that it is because of the distractions that are holding me back. And look, I can relate to distractions in a real way. And most of the answers about distraction that you find, they're good answers all over the web and all over, from people. You can find them, they're good. Not that they're bad answers, but most of them are speaking to the symptoms of the real problem. I don't want to speak to the symptoms of the real problem. People will tell you, oh, you're distracted, don't watch news. You're distracted, the TV is distracting you, your phone is distracting you. Stay away from the friends who are not trying to go where you're trying to go. Appreciate all those things, but you and I know that those things are symptoms. People don't want to go on their phones when they have things to do. People don't want to watch television when they have their goals to work on. People don't want to hang around stupid friends when they are negative friends, when they know that they have a mission and they have work to do. People don't actually choose to do that. And if we're trying to get to the root of what causes distraction, then we have to face the real problem of why you are distracted. And the reason why you are bogged down on the piles of distraction for a long time is because you're not motivated enough, one, and I'll tell you the other big one, but let's talk about motivation first. There are two things that I'll touch on, and I think there are two main things that are causing distraction for most people, why people can't get to do what they set out to do. The first thing is that you're not inspired enough. Your goals are not big enough. If you are inspired enough, if you have a big enough why, if your goals are big enough and they settle into your spirit and you have that fire and that passion, nothing will constantly take precedence over actually getting into doing what you want to do and to doing what you have to do. Another aspect of inspiration is that inspiration comes out of purpose. If it is you, if it's a part of you, you will always want to do it. So if you, like I love to motivate people, I love to speak on personal development and business and finance. Every opportunity I get, I'm speaking on it. It is me. If you want me to do something else that doesn't relate or that doesn't resonate with the core of who I am, you can distract me easily, or something else will distract me easily. So if you get me out there playing chess or watching a game, pretty soon I'll be distracted because it's not connected deep enough. It's not a part of who I am. So if you're doing just work or doing something that you heard about, or that you think will make you some money, or that you think will make you look cool, the distraction is easier to set in because common impulses, the mind is strong. And unless you are operating from your gut, from your core, it is easy for the mind to pull you away. Like you get pulled away even when you are doing something that is uniquely you, that resonates with you, that is a part of who you are. Can you imagine when you're doing something that doesn't have that, you're doing something that doesn't have that pull of your passion on it? It doesn't have that soul into it. Then you'll easily get distracted. So if you're not inspired enough, if your why, if your purpose, if that feeling inside you that make you do what you're doing, if that's not strong enough, then the distraction is easy to come over you. So the solution for that is to first ensure that what you're doing in the moment, if it is like your choice entirely, ensure that what you're doing is resonate with who you are. Do something, go into a field that you feel like you belong to, that you feel like you care about, that you have something to give. Like many people are stuck in jobs that they hate, that they can't relate to. They never went to school for it. They come out here, they can't get a job, they end up doing anything. I understand you have to get going, you have to live your life, you have to pay your bills, you have to get started. But don't settle. Don't stop. Never stop looking for what you want. Never stop trying to get what you want. Have a plan to get to it. If you have to do this other job, well, set a plan to every week send out a resume to the ideal job that you need. Get creative with that resume, be resilient, learn more about the industry. So when you sit in an interview, you can knock it out the park even though you don't have the experience, because you are getting information every day. You have a plan, you have a system that you're using to work to get into where you want to get to. So you don't have to do the distraction bit, and you don't have to come up with low results, and you don't have to come up with demotivated and not wanting to do this, and then all that stuff erode your self-confidence and ricochet into other areas of your life. So it is important that you set up yourself to win. If you're in a job that you don't like, it's highly likely that you're not going to produce the results that is going to either make you feel like you're competent, or going to move you up, or that is going to make you engage in positive activities. So let's say you go to a job I'll explain this for you quickly. You go to a job, you hate the job, you don't like it. When you come home, you're so frustrated that you're going to try to now numb yourself out of that. You want to get the remote, you want to get some alcohol, and it spiral you into the craziest type of ideas and the craziest type of behavior, because you are out of your zone and you're frustrated all day, and now you have to do something that is just going to ease your mind. It doesn't inspire you. You feel down, you feel drained. So the best way to approach that is to try to do what is in line with who you are. And to get to do that, even if you have to do something else, do what you have to do, but have a plan to get out of it and get into what you want to do. Do a strategic outline. Okay, every 2 weeks I'm sending resumes to this place. Okay, I'm reading this information on this thing, I'm writing this blog about this thing, I'm on LinkedIn about this thing, and someone will say, hey, maybe a year, 2 years, somebody will pick you up. When you think of it, it doesn't matter. 2 years is not long, because people spend a lifetime in jobs that is not related or that doesn't relate to who they really are. So you have to look at that aspect of it, because that thing will send you down a destructive path if you are constantly going in the opposite direction of what you really truly want to be or who you are. Everybody has to stay in alignment with who they are if they want to be happy. That's it. I don't matter how much money they pay you, if it doesn't fulfill you, it's gonna eat you. And you want to be on purpose. So if you believe in something, if you can relate to something, when you're doing it, it will fulfill you and you will be a happier person. The second thing on distraction, and this is a golden thing that is going to help you to beat distraction most times. Look, we're not perfect. You wake up in the morning, I wake up in the morning, I say, look, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to drink water. This morning, I drink water. I try to drink water every morning. I think I'm at like maybe 80%. I'm good at it. And this morning, I never had my water because something else got me. I got distracted. I went off. The best way to stay in these things or in a line or on a path to a goal that you have decided on is to build habits. Yes, my friend, habits. Habits rule. The mind will always want to do something else. You have to wire the behavior. We already know that the brain is has elasticity. So it shifts and forms, and neurons and pathways are formed in your brain that keeps you doing what you're doing now. That's why you do it so consistently. That's why you and I drive and we don't even think about it, because the subconscious mind is now doing it. It is wired into our brains. The prefrontal cortex is free to do everything else while you're driving. You're texting, you're eating, you're looking at other stuff, because the subconscious mind is taking care of all of that stuff. You have to get your processes into a habit. If you're depending on sudden will, you will not do it, because we overestimate sudden will, we overestimate our abilities, and we think we're better than we actually are, or we think we have more strength and more power than we actually have. So we always say, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, thinking that tomorrow we will suddenly find the motivation. It really doesn't work that way. It absolutely doesn't work that way. The best judge of what you will do is what you're doing now. The best judge of what you will do tomorrow is what you're doing today. Because the monkey brain, the mind, the neurological pathways that have formed in your mind over time keeps you doing what you're doing. It keeps you there. It makes you always do it. So you have to rewire all that circuitry. How? By doing 30, 60, and 90-day challenges. You have to simply hunker down, push yourself, get accountability partners, do everything, every system to actually dial in 60 to 90 days of the activity. If you fall off, get back on. So if you decide that you're going to write every day, write. And you have to push yourself and push yourself until you dial that in and get it into your routine. Otherwise, the habit will not be formed. And if you don't form the habit, you will slap the predictableness of your behavior, if there's such a word, out of the equation entirely. If you can't predict what you're going to do, then you're going to have a real problem staying focused, because you don't have the conditioning in the mind to follow through on the things that you're saying you're going to follow through on. You haven't dialed in the habit, you have not gone on the challenge and rewired the brain, and it is working against you, and you're pushing yourself every day, and you're procrastinating, and you're putting it off, and common impulse have you scrolling through social media and watching TV and doing everything else. A lot of time people blame procrastination, but it's not exactly procrastination. It's that we have something else that is taking place, that's a habit for us, that is filling the time that we're supposed to be using to do something else. So it's not exactly that you are putting it off, it's that you are distracted doing something else that you should be doing. So you have to block time for the activity, and you have to check off yourself. And the best way to do it is to get an accountability partner. And the very best way is to put it on social. Say, hey guys, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to come here every day. Somebody check me if I'm not doing it, because I'm doing a 30-day challenge and this is going to happen. And when you tell someone else, when you have accountability partners, you are more likely to follow through, because you want to keep integrity. Everybody wants to keep integrity with themselves, and people don't want to look stupid like they're just talking this stuff. So outline them, make them public if you have to. The idea is do whatever you have to do to get yourself to push through the span of time that you are trying to use to wire the habits. You must wire the habits. You have to get up and do it every day, so when you don't do it, it feels like a drag. Look, I've been exercising and working out since I was in college. I've done it for so many years. Now when I stop, when I fall off, if I fall off for 2 weeks, if I fall off for 2 months, if I fall off for 3 months, I get right back on, because there's something lingering in me that, look, you're not working out, you're not working out, you're not working out. The habits that I've formed is not allowing me to stop for a long time. It's pulling me back. It's a part of who I am, and I feel like something is missing if I'm not doing it. And somehow my brain starts to ascribe all the problems, all the things that I'm having that I'm going through to the fact that I'm not exercising. I'm like, oh, you're feeling this pain because you didn't work out, or you're looking a little fat around the tummy area because you didn't work out, and you didn't work. You feel drained because you didn't. So everything is telling me and directing me to going back in and getting my workout done. So that is the idea, my friends. Go on out there, wire the habits, and get inspired enough. And you get inspired by operating from your core, from your spiritual position, from a place where you feel belonging, doing something that you feel is you, that you feel interested and that you love and that you have a passion for. Have a good day, my friends. Always a pleasure coming to you. If you get some value from this podcast, share it with someone. And remember, stay powerful, believe in your dreams, keep going. Have a good one.